Welcome to the Grayfield Artist. I am so glad you're here. I absolutely love doing this podcast and building a community. What an honor. This has been so fun. And also, we have our ebook and paperback book available on Amazon if you'd like to purchase that. You also can buy it from me directly at stephaniepagestudio.com, and I will hand sign a book for you. They both cost the same. Thank you for showing up today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Welcome back. We're talking about victimhood. I know it's a fun subject, but as a creative, it is really important to look at this, okay? Because this is one of the major blocks as an artist, victimhood, okay? So many artists, they struggle with this and they struggle with victimhood. And what is victimhood and why is it a struggle? Well, I'm hoping that we can talk about the subject and you can reclaim your strength and become a free-spirited artist. Many artists and creatives fall into a trap of feeling like they have no control over their success or failures. They have no control. Life is just happening to them. They blame circumstances, others, bad luck for their struggles. But the truth is, dwelling in that victim mindset keeps them stuck, unable to move forward or fully live out their purpose. Okay, so my whole goal is for this podcast is for every creative to feel like they have the freedom to express themselves the way they want and to live their purpose. But a lot of times realizing our thoughts, our brain kind of gets in the way and it creates all these blocks that stop us. So one of my Buddhist teaching is this saying called attachment equals suffering. I write about it in my book, but this is a very profound saying if you really pay attention to it. Attachment equals suffering. What does that mean? It means that you're clinging on to the suffering, holding on so tight, and you're resisting to what is your reality. Buddha said, like, holding on to anger is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. So when we see ourselves as a victim and we nourish that poison, we prevent ourselves from growing. We can't grow. So I think the other part of this, energy-wise, as a victim, and what we create energy-wise, is such a powerful negative energy. And what we are, we attract. What we think, we become. What we put out there, we get back. So when you are this negative energy and you're feeding into it and you're holding on so tightly to this attachment, to this suffering, you're creating more suffering. You're choosing this. And, when I read this years ago, oh my gosh, I think it was in Thich Nhat Hanh's book. I can't remember what it was, but I remember just reading that one sentence, attachment equals suffering. What am I attached to that's causing me suffering? I could find myself in a bad mood. I can get upset. I could be reactive. And then all of a sudden I'll say, what am I attached to that's happening here? And I could be mad at my husband for something that he didn't do or should have done or whatever. And then I look at him and think, can I set him free? Can I set myself free from this? Why am I even holding on? Can I accept that that's just the way he is and what he's doing? That's fine. I can instantly let go and go about my day free as a spirit. That's how simple it is. And I am saying it in simple terms because it is simple. This practice is simple, but recognizing that you are a victim, that you have victimhood, that is another story. It's a very difficult thing for an artist or creative to see that this is what they do. But to recognize it is the biggest thing, the most important thing. If we can recognize it right away and say, oh, I'm coming from my victimhood space. Am I attached to something that I can let go of? Am I choosing to suffer? There's something really powerful about that kind of awareness. And usually when you're aware of your victimhood, it can just dissipate instantly by you just saying, I accept what is. What can I learn about this? What can I do? Get back into the solution of things. There's something really powerful about it. it's a whole other story trying to discover, why do I have victimhood? And why do I choose to handle or receive information as a victim? So, in my belief, is that victimhood is an addiction. It develops into an addiction because there's a payoff of being a victim. You absolutely get a payoff. And choosing to be a victim in a situation, instead of seeing the situation for what it is and what can I learn from it, have a perspective over it, or I'm just a victim, woe is me, and let me share it with 10 other people how I'm a victim so they can give me attention and feel sorry for me, because then I exist. Somebody can see me. Sometimes that's it, is your childhood wound. Like for me, that personally is my story. Like my biggest trigger is that I'm invisible. So, because I grew up in a big family and I was invisible, no one listened to me, no one heard me. I was told how to think. I was told what happened when something didn't happen. I was never validated for my own feelings. So, as an adult, when someone ignores me, oh my gosh, huge reaction, because my gosh, you just treated me like, and all of a sudden this childhood wound comes up. And the reaction is so much bigger than what was happening. So when I was in my 20s, I got recovery from this. I decided this is what I needed to do. I need to get rid of this pattern. It's something that I was taught, is generationally taught, and I could go about life acting like how I was taught for the rest of my life, or I can change this pattern. But recognizing the pattern is huge. Getting help for it is huge. So I think that that's what I'm hoping that I can give to you, is that willingness to look at it. Because if you are reacting to life and you're hurt by many people in your life, many situations, and you're disappointed all the time, there is a likelihood that you have victimhood, addiction. Okay? If you say these things, this always happens to me. Oh, figures. Everyone always disappoints me. Oh, of course that happens to me. That's what I expect. If you say things like this, it is a very strong chance you have victimhood, addiction. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. You probably came by it honestly. But boy, if you can look at this and actually overcome this victimhood, you're going to be so free and so happy, because on the other side of victimhood is pure joy. You get into the solution of things, you become a doer. As a creator, you create more, you become more productive. There is no block here. So it is well worth it to take that time to sit down and ask yourself, am I addicted to victimhood? Do I receive things as a victim? If people say things to me, is it a filter through victimhood, or can I objectively look at what people are saying or doing, or the situation? So that kind of honesty and that kind of willingness, it's not going to happen with people that are completely addicted. You may not even hear this message. You might not even resonate with it, because it's a blindness, unfortunately. It's something that you're completely blind to. And only out of severe suffering over years and years do you realize, wow, something's wrong here. Willingness to get therapy, willingness to delve into what's happening. So, I mean, that's why I wrote my book. I worked with 30 years worth of artists that were all suffering. Not all of them, but a lot of them were suffering from victimhood. The way they received information, the sensitivity, people would always call them sensitive. Well, we are sensitive. I mean, artists are very sensitive, and that's what makes us amazing artists. But it's the too sensitive. Oh, you're too sensitive. Well, it's not even that. It's that I can't take any information without being sensitive. I can't look at it objectively. I can't take it in any other way. So, when we're artists, sometimes we feel like we have no control over our own success or failures. We feel like life is just happening to us, and we're blaming others and circumstances for us struggling, and we keep getting stuck with this negative cycle, this energy. What we are, we attract. So of course we're stuck in this. if you pay attention to your energy and the things that are coming to you, and they're all negative, it might have something to do with what energy you're putting out into the world and into yourself. Victim thinking is very hard for you to see opportunities and wonderful things happening. You're not even going to be open to it. So it's frustrating. Victimhood can create feelings of frustration and resentment and powerlessness. Like, think about like being powerless. That is the ultimate victim stance. I'm powerless over this situation or this person or this. You are never powerless, and you are actually in control, and you're choosing to be powerless. So that is also not even powerless, is it? So the mindset stops an artist from stepping into their full potential and doing what they are meant to do. So this block is huge. Recognizing this, recognizing the first step is like, I do have victimhood. I am attached to suffering, and I do choose to attach to it. So when we identify it and we start listening to our inner voice, and sometimes it's the deepest inner voice, because I remember writing down all my inner voice, but like my knowing, that deeper knowing, was also a victimhood. It was pretty deep. Like just assuming things were never going to work out. Like, think about that energy. So listen to your inner voice. Identify what your inner voice is saying. Journal about it. Write it down and look at it. What's wrong with what I'm saying? Am I blaming others or circumstances? What can I replace the blame with? Can I learn something from this? What is my next step I can take? That's how you take every thought of victimhood. Okay, and that's number one. Number two would be shifting your perspective. When I feel victimized, pause. What is in my control now? Okay, this happened. What is in my control now? Focus on small actions I can take instead of dwelling in the powerlessness of it, and take your own power back. Get into the solution. This shift is powerful. This is something you can do every day. You can sit there and change your entire perspective of a situation. Okay? It's necessary. So, of course, number three, and the ultimate thing, which I use every day, is gratitude. So let's say I am upset at my husband and he's doing something that's upsetting me, and I'm attached to it and I'm suffering over it. I'm wrecked over it. I can't sleep over it. And then all of a sudden I decide to set him free and me free. Now, the way I can let him go is be grateful for what he does, who he is, how much I love him. I can really do that in a very quick shift, but it has to do with gratitude. So I practice gratitude, but I also own what I'm doing. I own this. This is my issue, not his, to fix. It's not somebody else to fix how we're receiving the information. So we have to understand we have control. We have a choice. We can make this, we can decide this or not, but we are in control of this. So recognizing the attachment to our suffering is, if you can do that, just try it. This week I would love for you to try this. Recognize your attachment to suffering. Anytime you're upset, you could be in a car, someone pulls you off. I always talk about cars because those are instant reactions to people. And somebody pulls in front of you or something, and your reaction is, ugh. And then if you let it go, great. If you're still thinking about it, 30 seconds later, a minute later, 10 minutes later, then you start telling people about it. There it is. There's the work. I am attaching to the suffering, and it's wrecking me. And think about energy-wise. If you want this beautiful energy every day, and you want to take care of yourself in the most beautiful way, you take care of your energy first. Okay, I wake up and I think of 3 things I need to do to accomplish that day. And I also decide it's going to be a great day. I also am excited about what's going to happen. Before I put my feet on the ground, I'm already in decision of what my energy will be. Okay, I have woken up before where I'm going, oh God, I don't even want to deal. And man, that energy throughout the day is 10,000 times worse to carry. So I actually make my bed. I guess it's almost 200 days now. I've been making my bed every day. And while I'm making it, it takes about maybe 32 seconds to make the bed. Okay, so 32 seconds, I have intentions. I am showing up for myself today. I lay the pillows. I am here for myself. I will be aware of what energy I'm putting out in the world. I shake the blankets. I flatten it out. I am present. I am here, and I will always be connected to what is. I flatten out the bed. I look at it and say, okay, I made my bed for today. I mean, I start my day that way because I am telling myself I'm worth it. I'm showing my intentions of the day. And I think like there was 1 or 2 days that I didn't make the bed because my husband was still in bed. And sometimes I make my side. But he started making the bed, if I didn't do it, which is kind of funny. But anyway, I think that your powerful intentions of the day, if you have this little post-it note saying attachment equals suffering in your car, attachment equals suffering in the mirror, attachment equals suffering in your house somewhere, to recognize, what am I attached to right now? Because I'm very upset. Because you can get upset. You have permission to have whatever feelings you want. But if you're stuck in that feeling for long periods of time, more than 5 minutes, then you're attached to it. You decided, I'm going to attach and identify with this feeling. It is mine. Okay, but then what you're resisting is what is. You're not accepting what is. You're not able to let it go. So holding on to it is your choice. You have choices all day long. You choose this all day long. Okay, so if something happens throughout the day, you choose right away how you're going to receive it and what you're going to hold on to. I think I wrote in the book, like, everything I've let go of, I have scratch marks over it. I didn't want to let go of stuff. I didn't want to let go of my anger. I didn't want to let go of this. But man, I didn't realize what it was doing to my entire energy field, everything about my life. If I wanted my life to flow and I wanted to be free artist and create with high spirit, I can't be in this frequency. This is a lower frequency that just drags you down and holds you hostage. But you're holding yourself hostage. The ownership is the biggest part you need to realize. You have to own how you react to things and how you choose to carry it with you. This information, ownership, is huge. So I think if you look out your day as if that was your goal, is to make sure your energy is taken care of, you're showing up, your intentions are made, and let's say we fall off for a couple minutes or even 20 minutes, or we awfulize over doom scrolling on TV or I don't, on your phone or whatever, and we get stuck in this negative tyrant of la 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 la. Okay, I can accept that, and I can let it go after that. Let yourself fail. Let yourself do these things. Let yourself react. Do all that, but then own it. Own it, and then let it go. Accept what is. And then on top of that, what can I learn from this? Because we are being taught every day. Information is being given to us every day with people and circumstances. So everywhere you go is a teacher. So if you were curious to what you're supposed to learn, that's another layer of this. You're leaving victimhood and you're getting into curiosity, and I'm willing to learn. So as an artist, as a creator, some of the most difficult people are your best teachers. Some of the most difficult situations will teach you the most. So instead of repelling or avoiding all these negative situations, staying in a little bubble and being safe, let yourself live your life fully. And experiencing these things is necessary. It creates growth. You will grow from this. You will learn from this, and you will start developing a pattern that could be broken from generations in your past. You can learn a different way. Maybe my family lineage was victimhood, but maybe I don't have to do that for the rest of my life, and I don't have to pass it down to my child for him to do it. Breaking those patterns is huge. So the work is worth every second. And if you're really struggling and something that's you really can't get out of this victimhood, get help. Reach out. Learn about it. Read about it. There's so many books out there. There's so many. I mean, I love Buddhist teaching. It always talks about suffering is a choice. I love that because it simplified things for me because I'm an overthinker. But maybe you need something more. So I don't think there's one way to learn this. I don't think there's one way to get the information. I don't think it's just therapy that you can get help with this. But recognizing it's an issue and that you want to get rid of victimhood, that is it. You will be led where you need to be and you will get the help you need. Absolutely. Because you're willing. Willingness is what I pray for every day. Willingness is the most important thing with any subject, any issue that creates a block with you. If you're willing to look at it and willing to understand it, that is the key. And willing to do the work. That's another key. Because you could be willing to look at it, but not willing to do anything about it. So it'll just sit there. Yep, that's me. I'm a victim. I suffer from victimhood, and it could stay there forever. But without willingness to seek the answers and the truth for yourself, then you'll just stay still, which is okay. You can do that. But a lot of times, uncomfortability and discomfort will get you out of it. And I mean, man, I don't have enough time to tell you how I got out of my victimhood, but man, I got pretty bad. It got pretty uncomfortable. It pretty extreme, very extreme. So I knew I was a victim. I knew I had victimhood, but I wasn't willing to work on it for years. So willingness, woo, sometimes you're going to have to suffer a little, or you're going to have to feel it in such a deep way that it's going to be so uncomfortable that you'll do anything to get out of it. And that's where I was. I would do anything to get out of that situation and anything to get out of that energy that I was in. I had a complete enlightenment over this. And I looked at life completely different after this. My willingness was so eager, and I knew I never could go back to that again. I felt so passionate about it that it was like nothing was worth ever going back to it. And not to say that I don't have victimhood, a little dash here and there, but I recognize it. I know what to do, A, B, and C, and I get out of it as soon as possible. But yeah, willingness. So I think the practice for this week is just to observe yourself. Observe yourself how you receive information that you may not like, or something that happened to you, or happened to your business, or happened to anything that you are really upset at. Okay? Be upset, feel your feelings, but then see what you decide to do with it afterwards. How long will it stay with you? How long will it last? Connect to it. Until next week, thanks for showing up. Thank you for showing up today at The Grateful Artist. We are so grateful that you are here. Just as a reminder, I am not a licensed therapist. I am just sharing my experience, strength, and hope as an artist, and hope that I can help any artist get rid of all their blocks and create like crazy. We also are starting something new. We are asking artists to send in some voice memos of what works for them to get rid of their blocks as an artist. Even if it's something that we share in the book, The Grateful Artist, it would be great to hear from you. Share your voice and your story, what type of art you do, and tell us your journey. Just a short, less than 30 seconds little clip if you have it. You can make it longer, that's fine. And also share your website where we can find you and all that fun stuff. Just send in to art@stephaniepagestudio.com. And remember that we're building a community here. We're so grateful for this. And if you are on any of our platforms, please leave a positive review, share our book, anything you can. That would be wonderful. We're always so grateful because that's kind of how we grow. Thank you again for showing up today.